If you're interested in comic book conservation, please join us on Facebook at the Comic Book Conservation Community, where we have a gathering of experts in the industry, and you can ask all of your questions that you need to know about what you need to do to conserve and preserve these beautiful works of art. Please join Dr. Paul from Liberty Hill Comics, Phantom Phil from Phantom Restorations, and myself, Captain Larry from Flying Owl Comics, every Sunday night on YouTube at 8:35 p.m. Eastern. We talk about everything comic conservation and what's happening in the market. So please come join us. You can find us at Liberty Hill Comics on YouTube and Flying Owl Comics on YouTube. Okay, so we're back with our Batman 24, and it's time to start the disassembly process. So what we're going to do is see if we can find our center wrap. It's in here someplace. Getting closer. Almost. There. All right, here's our center wrap. So what we want to do is carefully remove these staples. So I've got our spatula here. I'm just going to slip it underneath. And again, what we don't do is go to a 90-degree position, because this is where the staple will start bending on its spine, and we start tearing paper. All right, so that's up. So now I'm going to come behind here, and I'm just going to carefully pull that staple. We're going to rotate it at 90 degrees and rotate it on out, and there we have it. That's our first staple. Now I'm going to go ahead and just set this right here on this piece of paper, because I don't have a backer board handy yet. It's our top staple, so I'll just put that right up there towards the top. Then we'll come back down here and we'll do the same thing with our bottom staple. Now this one's got a blown out hole here, so I'm going to be very careful. We are going to have to do the repairs on this book. There we go. Same thing again. I'm just going to put my hand behind here and gently rotate this staple out. Push it all the way through here. Like that. Rotate it at 90 degrees. Now this staple has some glue on it, because I could see there's paper glued to the staple itself. I can see, if I raise this up, you guys can see that. So we're going to have to clean this staple off. That one's got glue, so that also tells me there's some torn up paper in here. So now that we got that done, let's push this up here. Get the book back in the center of the screen here, and we'll take a look at these wraps. Now, one thing you see here, there's the spine has been broken here. That's basically some torsion on the spine of the book. So we can fix all that. But each one of these wraps is going to require treatment. That's okay. All right, so this is the bulk of the book here. So we're going to set that aside for now. Now here is where we have our first wrap that is glued to the cover, as you can see right there. So our goal here is to, we're going to get this wet. We're going to see if that PVA will loosen and give way, and see if we can get this book separated. And we'll start cleaning this cover and putting everything back together. All right, next step. So here we are. I've gone ahead and de-acidified this. The cover is still glued to the first wrap, with the one exception is that the spine broke away on the cover. So this is now separated, which is fine. We'll reattach it anyway, because it's going to have to be doing some leaf casting and rebuild the spine here. So I'm going to set this off to the side. So what we have here is the splash page. Remember, this is the back side of the book. This is the rear cover. So I'm going to show you. Here's the splash page. So let's flip this over. And on the inside, we have our staples, the damage in here. So we still need to separate this back piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to start with Bestine because I need to remove the tape here, and there's also tape on the cover as well. So we need to get that off. So let's start right there. Okay, so I've brought the camera in close. We're going to remove this piece of tape right here. So what we're going to use today is Bestine. Now I'm going to go ahead and flood the chamber with Bestine. And this is highly flammable. Please don't use it, don't smoke around it, etc., etc. So what we want to do with this is try to get underneath an edge. We got to let it soak a little bit. The one thing about Bestine is that it really does not affect the inks or the paper. It does not attack it. So what we want to do is just try and get an edge here. And tape removal is not for everyone, folks. You got to be very careful with this. Because if you pull too hard or too early, you're going to, we got to let, like I said, we got to let what we're trying to do is separate this carrier, which is the plastic part of tape. Tape is two parts. It's adhesive and it's carrier. And the adhesive is going to remain with the book, and the carrier is going to come off. And we're going to remove the adhesive separately. So now I can feel this. It's starting to come up here on the edge. So what I want to do is gently pull with the tweezers, but not fast. We're going to stop and we're going to let the Bestine soak into the paper, because it's whenever we pull, we got to give it a little bit of space for that Bestine to soak in there. See, I can always see right now that little dot right there, but that is not ink. That is just a brown spot of something underneath, so it just came up. So now we're getting to the tear that was sealed, so I'm going to stop right there. And let's see if we can catch an edge down here. It's had enough time to soak. So I'm just trying to, people are going, oh my, you're using this without, gloves or anything like that. People, the Bestine is not going to harm me. Of course, I just tell myself that. But I need to be able to feel this tape. So I'm just pulling little bits and pieces of this tape off of here. Do I need to remove the tape? No. But I think aesthetically it's important to not have tape. Tape will destroy comic books over time. Now, it's hard to tell when this tape was put on. Being that it's not yellowed at all, I would say it was, not that long ago. So what we're going to do is see if we can separate this cover so we don't lose any of the image. So I'm going to bring in a spatula here. And, I love my spatula. If you guys don't have one of these, you should get one. I'm not trying to pimp out my store, but if you go down in the description, you can find my link to my Amazon store, and all the products I use are pretty much all there. If you're wondering about the camera we're using, this is a Logitech Reach, and hopefully we'll have that in my store as well pretty soon. Okay, there we go. We got a big chunk of it off without losing any paper. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you all with trying to watch me do this. So what I think I'll do is keep working on this, and then I'll speed the tape up, and you can see the end results. Okay, we're back. So the glue has been removed. The tape has been removed. I still have a little bit of residual here on the cover, which I'll have to remove. The tape that was holding this corner piece on the back side has been removed. So let's take a look at everything. Now, looks good. It's nice and white on the back. And that's from harsh chemicals. So here's what we're looking at here. Let me put the corner in place. So the inside looks good. You see right down here, there's discoloration. Let me bring this down here. This is bleed through due to the chemicals I was using to break up the polyvinyl acetate glue, PVA glue, Elmer's glue. And there's nothing we can really do about it. It's purples and reds came on through, but it's on the inside. The outside of the cover looks pretty good. Looking at the taped areas, you can see where the tape was. There's still a little bit of residual adhesive there. I'll get all that off. That's not an issue. Okay. The spine, as you can see, the glue's been removed. There was some paper loss in here. There's a little bit here. Let's see what I'm looking at. This looks. I'm not sure. I think that's some glue. Yeah, it's glue still. So that glue is going to have to come off as well. All right, let's take this away and we'll look at our first wrap. Move all these pieces here. Let me back the camera up so you can see. Okay, so let's take this back cover, or correction, front cover. And this presents really well. I mean, once we get it leaf casted and fill in all the spaces, it's going to present very nicely. Okay, so our first wrap, I was able to get the glue off and maintain a lot of the paper. There's the dark areas you see is staining from the glue. So what we'll do is try to take a little bit of this down, maybe treat it somewhat. The other side looks great. Everything's fine here. So we'll just fill this in. We're going to do pulp. We'll do that coming up next. And see if we can get this all ready and looking a little bit more presentable for everybody to see. But the splash page was the important part that I wanted to really keep intact. Okay, so I'm back. The first wrap, the holes that were in here have been leaf casted. This is all new pulp in here. From the front side, I got the glue stains out for as much as I can, but ultimately the glue does seep into the paper of the book itself. So it's a little bit dark here in the center section, but everything is smooth, feels perfect. It's not rough. We've got good flexibility in the paper. So this is pretty much done. We did have a split right up here, which was also leaf cast and filled. So all in all, the first wrap's done. The next thing we have to work on is this mess. So we'll get this back together. Of course, we got to reassemble all of the pieces. Actually, it's easier to see if I just pull this wrap out from underneath. So you get a little bit of a background. So this has got splits, cracks, tears, everything that we don't want. Missing corner, that goes there. This little piece here gets tucked in over here. These are the things that make life a bit more challenging for these books when we reassemble them. I did the first wrap on the vacuum table. I'll have to make a decision whether we want to do this one a full submersion. But I'll work on this next. So, yeah, please join me. If you liked today's video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. That way you can get a notification when I have a new video coming out or a follow-up to this one.